Welcome to ACG's Deep Dive. We're here to really break down the essential intelligence from your sources. And today, well, we're tackling a recent daily SOC alert. It's one that started off looking like a somewhat standard suspicious login, but it quickly escalated and actually revealed a surprisingly simple attack method. Very effective, though. So our mission here is to unpack exactly what went down, how our systems caught it, and maybe most importantly, what this means for you.
Yeah, and I think what makes this alert particularly worth diving into is how clearly it shows that link between the tech detection side and, the human element. That part we sometimes, maybe underestimate in cybersecurity.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's drill down into those initial flags the system raised. It was logged as high severity, right? 8.0 out of 10. And started with a successful login to an Office 365 account. But two things immediately looked off. The login came from an unusual IP block.
Right. Unfamiliar territory for that user.
Yeah, and the HTTP refer info was just empty, blank.
Exactly. And how we caught it is, it's pretty neat. It was a combination, really. Our SIEM, that's the Security Information and Event Management System, it flagged it, working hand in hand with Azure AD Identity Protection. The specific triggers were, first, that MFA approval happened right after the login from that suspicious IP. An IP belonging to an ASN block that's an autonomous system number that this user had never logged in from before. That's a big one.
Okay, so a brand new network source, basically.
Precisely. And then critically, those browser logs showed that empty, or at least abnormal refer field, like you said, empty. Legitimate corporate access, well, it nearly always passes that info, confirming where you came from. Its absence, it really points towards a direct jump, maybe untracked, exactly like you expect from clicking a malicious link somewhere else.
It's pretty impressive how the tech spotted those anomalies so fast. But, the tech is often only one part of the story, isn't it? The human side here is where it gets, really interesting. Let's talk about how the user actually got tripped up, because when they were contacted, wow, the detail that came out was kind of shocking. They'd scanned a QR code on a poster.
Yeah.
In the office break room. Yeah, a poster promising a gift card if they filled out an end-of-year survey.
And that's the hook. It sounds so innocuous right at a familiar place, the break room. But that QR code, it wasn't for a survey. It sent the user's phone straight to a phishing site. A really well-made clone apparently looked just like the company's O365 login page.
On their phone, not their laptop. That seems key.
Absolutely key. Because, see, the user's personal mobile, it didn't have all the corporate security software, the endpoint protection that's standard issue on their work laptop. So the phone's browser didn't throw up any warnings. The user types in their username, their password, thinks it's all legit. And then, crucially, the MFA prompt pops up on their phone because the attacker initiated the login and they approve it. Bingo, attacker's in.
Wow. Just like that. So, okay, once this whole QR code phishing thing, this Quishing, was figured out, what happened next? What were the immediate containment steps?
Well, speed was essential. The absolute first thing was terminating that user's active session immediately and forcing a password reset, obviously. Then, more broadly, we had teams go find and remove every single one of those malicious posters from the offices, had to stop it at the source. And just as vital, a company-wide alert went out. An email explaining exactly this type of attack, this Quishing, making sure everyone knew what to look out for.
So, this deep dive, looking closely at this ACG alert, it really shows how sophisticated attacks don't always look high-tech from the start. Sometimes they begin with something as simple as a poster and a QR code in physical world. I think the main takeaway here is how attackers are cleverly exploiting that difference in security posture between, say, a lockdown company laptop and an employee's personal phone being used for work tasks. Our vigilance needs to cover both, right?
It really does. And, this incident, it tells us a lot about where social engineering is heading, blending the physical and digital like this, which I think leaves us all with a pretty important question to consider. How often do we, really look closely at the prompts around us, physical posters, digital pop-ups before we just click or scan? And what does this specific incident tell us about how attackers are finding these subtle gaps, bypassing defenses by targeting our everyday habits? Something to think about.